I'm Jeff Morgan. I am from Dallas, Texas, and I'm here right now with Amanda Burnett, who is from the area, pretty close nearby. And because this is Family Court Awareness Month, supposedly, signed by Governor Greg Abbott, I'm really glad that you called me, that we can talk a little bit about this family court stuff, because this family court, the corruption, just the way that they abuse people sometimes is not very well known, except if you've gone through it. And I know your story. You're talking about a story both as a mother and as a grandmother. So I've heard some of the details. There's so much in here right now. What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the CPS case? Do you want to start with the judges?
I would just like to touch a little bit of base on CPS.
Okay. So CPS. There are a lot of people that think CPS is really, they're there to look out for the children. A lot of times you hear people say, well, just talk to CPS. CPS will be there to protect the children. And even the legislators at times, they talk about CPS as if, CPS is just this wonderful agency, wonderful people. All they care about is the children, making sure things are good. Is that your experience with CPS?
No, absolutely not. I mean, people even tell you to report to them. Anything that's wrong, and I haven't had a good experience with them at all.
So tell me a little bit about your experience, how long it's been lasting, and what all that they've done then. I mean, my understanding is that they have not always been truthful.
That is correct. They've literally lied to me on papers. When I say on papers, they put on papers things about me like that I've had more children than I've had. They put on paperwork that I've put up kids for adoption that I haven't. They've also stated on paperwork that I've had my rights terminated to children that I've never had. They've put names on paperwork of people I'm related to that I'm not. I even got paperwork saying they did interviews with family members that are already deceased during the time of their interviews taking place with them, supposedly. Not to mention they put out stuff about me that's very wrong, like stuff that would really affect like someone's life completely in the workplace and everything, as far as my profession. And what they said was, and it's not true, but I don't know about saying that, but they literally lied about what I did for a living. They lied about me saying I was homeless. They've lied about where I live even.
So this is more than just being incompetent.
Right. They actually wrote on paperwork that I was incompetent.
Oh, they wrote that you were incompetent.
They said I was incompetent.
Right.
And that I was the sole caretaker of my grandchild. However, I was incompetent, but it hasn't been proven.
Okay. But I mean, the stuff that they're writing down, it's not like they're somehow it's not that they're just making some mistakes. It sounds like it's more intentional, and that it's almost lying completely. It's deceptive, it's deceitful,
Yes.
It's just plain wrong.
Yeah.
Is that what I hear? Is that correct? Is that what I hear you saying?
No, that's absolutely correct. It's ruining people's lives. I mean, they're trying to ruin my life, my reputation. It's hard to get a job at like in a school or something or places like that.
Right.
You've got stuff like this on you.
Right. So how did it first start with CPS? What was your first experience with them?
Well, my very first experience, thinking back now, I was back in actually 93.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, in 93, someone called the CPS, a doctor actually called me because they said my son's head was too big on the growth chart.
Oh, okay. Can you control that?
No, they said that he might be malnourished,
Okay.
and that's what started it.
Okay. And then from there, how many, during the 1993, say to 2000 or so, did they have multiple visits, or was that
Somebody just kept calling and calling.
Okay.
I was a teenage mom, guys, just want to say that too.
Okay.
And I was told by the doctor that I did not need to have kids, that I should have aborted my children. The doctor that I had was, unfortunately, a state doctor that I had to go to get medical care for my children. But she was very discriminative towards me because of my age, and she would not quit calling CPS on me. It didn't matter. My child could have a little bruise from falling down when he learned how to walk, and they'd still call.
Do you think the doctor was upset with you because you did not have an abortion?
Yes, she told me.
Okay, wow. So you had multiple confrontations, it's not confrontations, but encounters with CPS for how many years?
So from 93 till now, 2021.
Up until now, wow.
Yes.
So you're talking about a number of years, 30 years almost.
But not all my cases.
Yeah.
My older child's cases. and somehow they keep putting me into those cases. And one thing I will say that CPS did do, when you were talking about stuff they put on paper, they actually put on the subpoena all these things and wrote down every CPS referral that I ever had, and they're not cases. And they put on there the referrals with the actual case numbers, like that they use for the referrals. And they put in there my children's full names, their addresses, phone numbers, and they were minors. They even sent it out on subpoenas through the court. So that's why I wanted to touch base on that, because what they wrote and what they write goes to the court if they open a case. And then it's the court, is it the district clerk's office that they do the filings and they send them out? They're the ones that allowed it to be attached. And this was private information. So things that weren't true. So when I say they were trying to intentionally ruin my life.
So when you look at the CPS workers, one of the complaints that I've had about them is that they don't have to have a lot of education or training. They don't have to have a college degree. They don't have to be parents themselves. They don't have to have any type of relationship with kids in their lives, and yet they can become these workers. And sometimes with the CPS workers, like with any profession, I guess, your position can go to your head, and you can, have a swagger. You can use your power, and if you've said you can use your power to destroy people or to ruin relationship if they don't listen to you. Is that what you found took place with you?
Absolutely. Yeah, totally. And they even made me get a divorce.
They made you get a divorce?
Yeah, they made me get a divorce. They said I would never see my children again if I didn't.
When did that happen?
About 12, 13 years ago.
Okay.
I was forced into a divorce.
Something you didn't want to do?
No, but I did it because I was threatened I would never see my children again.
So CPS actually threatened you by not seeing your children?
Yeah, they've even locked me in a room before.
Okay. Have they done other things as well that would be considered unethical, if not unsavory, in a sense? I mean, things that you hear stories about CPS, but most people in America think they really didn't do that, did they? There's just no way they could have done that.
I used to think that way.
Yeah.
That CPS would never do something like that.
Yeah.
Until I encountered it.
Yeah. Yeah. So have they also been? Because right now you're a grandmother. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm a grandmother. I have 4 grandchildren.
4 grandchildren. And do you get to see them, or has CPS been involved with that as well?
No, as a matter of fact, CPS took all my grandchildren away except for one that passed away. But so the other 3 children have all been removed. And they were adopted out except for one that's currently that we're fighting for.
When you say adopted out, they took your children, they terminated your rights?
They terminated
my
daughter's rights to her kids.
And then they took them away from you as a grandmother?
Yes, because once you get someone to give up their parental rights, you no longer, as a grandparent, have rights to see your grandchildren.
That's right. That's right. So I was up in Collin County Court, and we'll get to that in just a moment there, but I saw some termination hearings. I happened to sit in on a hearing, and I was there for somebody else actually, but I decided to go in there. And it was shocking and appalling to see how aggressive the CPS attorney was. She wanted to take a child away, period. There were 2 parents that had gone through a divorce, and the father said, "They're my kids, I want to be with them." And the CPS attorney was siding with the mother who wanted to abandon the kids and said the kids are better off with a stranger. And the father's like, "They're my kids." And the CPS attorney got very upset that I happened to ask her a couple of questions, tried to get me arrested and thrown out. But it was not my first time in the court, and I think the judge knew me. And according to a couple of people there, the father got to keep the children because the judge saw that I was sitting in there. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what other people have said. But the idea that CPS is not a nice party and not even a neutral party in most instances.